Hi, Hylissang.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
You're
How are
great?
you?
I'm good, thank you. Let's talk about what matters. You guys came into, the elimination phase, lower bracket, and I guess not necessarily the favorite team, but you are managing to pull through. Seems with no problem. Yesterday's games against Fnatic, they were a little bit funny, but today was a pretty convincing victory. What was the difference between the two opponents?
I think draft was quite easier today. I felt like they gave us like Annie and they gave us Rakan, and I feel like we had very straightforward composition. And I feel like that's why it was easier than yesterday, because we were still like, I think game 2 for example was quite clean, but we still had some icky calls. Like for example, we gave them like 5 kills and pentakill, and like the game was still not over when it should have been.
Right.
Game 1 we
But game 2 today, there was almost a comeback from Astralis.
Yeah, exactly. They got like 5 kills, pentakill, so we threw for sure. And game 1 we also threw like multiple times when we got caught and we just die, and me including, of course. And it wasn't that different. I feel like this draft was easier.
And how are you going to ensure that you guys are not giving the enemy these chances to come back in the, best of 5s?
Well, we're learning. It's slow process. We did close the game kind of clean
pressure.
afterwards, but it did took some time to realize how we can end the game. And I feel like we were very loud in the games today and yesterday. It was like a lot of chaos.
Oh yeah,
in
I
the
can
comms.
imagine. Who
Yeah.
usually closes the game? Do you have a set structure, or is it, whichever lane has the most advantage, I guess?
We all kind of like to talk, but I feel like right now it's not like I'm not allowed to call like really strictly what should be done, but I really feel like I can tell my players what should be done in the game.
Coach
But right now it's like more freestyle, and at least late game. So yeah, sometimes it's not the best calls, or like not the best calls, but it's not the best structure, and we end up dying left and right.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's mostly you're calling in the early game, and then everyone else is like
doing what they can. All right, sounds good. And we did a little this or that earlier today, and you mentioned that, of course, you're a big fan of the cheesy picks. And I wanted to ask you something, not necessarily about the games that you have been playing recently, but how important is it to follow through a meta when a player is so comfortable on other supports? Like how important is it to work around that player to make sure that there is, perhaps more success, or I don't know, more comfort?
It's not easy just because like practice is hard, because these like picks are not always optimal. So you do practice some meta, and rarely you practice your cheesy picks, and you also don't want to review your pick just because you might play them eventually. And it's not easy to practice for sure, but I think requires a lot of trust and confidence from your team. So it's not like I can't play meta picks, it's just that I feel like we play better as a team if I have tools, if I can punish the opposition.
Yeah,
that's a meme. That's a meme, but yeah.
Sure.
Just if I can go in, or if I see a mistake and I am allowed to like not Soraka Q on top of them, but rather than Leona E or Nautilus Q or Pike Q or something, that you can. It's more punishing, then I feel like we work better as a team.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for your insight. Thank you, Hilly, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.